We're back with the second week of the podcast. Last week we talked about the Packers. This week we're gonna talk about the Bears with my dad, and we're gonna get right into it. Bears, new offense, new defense, really a new whole team, new era. I would say the Caleb Williams era. Are they on a short leash? Is this team ready to win right now?
So when I look at this team, I think they're ready to win right now, but there's a but, because when you look at the Bears, they have not won a whole lot of games. They won 7-10 last year. So if you can improve upon that 7-10 record, I think, this is a better team. Caleb's got better weapons than Justin had. He's got the rookie Odunze. He's got Keenan Allen, and he's got DJ Moore. So he should be in a better offense. And I didn't even mention Swift. So we expect him to be better than that 7-10 record.
Yeah, a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of firepower. Caleb Williams should have no issue getting the ball out. He even has the tight end Kobe. So, which me personally, I think that should be his number one receiver. So, I mean, you already said anything over 7 wins will be a success. So, is 10 wins too high for the Bears, or
they have not won 10 games since 2018.
Yeah.
So we temper our enthusiasm by saying just be better than the 7 wins. If they make the playoffs this year, that's great. That's gravy right there. But if they get into that 8, 9, 10 range, that means they're competitive. That means they're in these games. They had I believe one of at least the top 10 defenses at the back end of the year when they picked up, who's the guy that got, yeah. So they should be better. And then they
run defense. It was top 5.
Yeah, they picked up some more guys this year to help the line, the D line. So defense should be confident. Who's the cornerback or the safety?
You got Brisker and Gordon. Gordon is the
Johnson.
Yeah, Dan Johnson, Tyree Stevenson.
So they have a competent defense. Eberflus is a defensive quarterback. So defense was a lot better once Eberflus actually took over the defense.
A lot more aggressive.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator last year got into some problems. He ended up being let go. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on with this team.
Yeah, it was it wasn't the best situation for it, especially Justin Fields, to be honest, because he had a lot thrown at him that wasn't post-draft pick. So, going on to that, do you think they should have kept Fields? Did they give up on him too quick? Should it have been Caleb Williams and Justin Fields we talking about right now?
I would not have mind if they had both of those guys on the team, Caleb and Justin, but I know that would have created a level of pressure they probably did not want to put on the rookie. Caleb was put into some rough situations, and it seemed like the Bears are always off schedule, where one GM will come in and it'll be his pick, and then they'll bring in a new coach, and then the rookie or the second year guy is always being thrown a new coordinator. And so I don't think Justin had the same coordinator for 2 back-to-back years. He was always learning a new offense. Mm-hmm. The offensive line was always makeshift, and they were trying to keep them upright.
Yeah, I think what we saw last year, Justin Fields, I would, especially in the beginning, was not on the same page with his coordinator, and then continue, even in Pittsburgh preseason, he holds the ball too long. He tries to use his legs too much. And with that suspect line with Chicago, it just didn't work. But I think now, my thing is, if Justin Fields had this type of team, would he be able to do the same thing that Caleb Williams is predicted to do?
So that's the question. If Justin had this team, would he be getting the ball out quicker? Would he be more decisive?
Yeah.
Because a lot of Justin's explosive plays came when he was extending the play. The line was rushing at him, and instead of throwing the ball away, he would be now on a 50-yard dash to the end zone, and that what made him look explosive. And Chicago's going to love that. The quarterback can own this town. And we see that all the time. Chicago's never had a 4,000-yard passer. So if a quarterback comes in and do that, they're going to own Chicago.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even Chicago is desperate for a team at this point. Cubs are okay. Blackhawks aren't good. White Sox definitely not good.
Yeah, White Sox are awful. It was a makeup game, but they had 17 people in the stands.
Yeah, I
I
don't even know how
I
that's even
wouldn't even
possible.
announce that outing, the attendance like that. I don't know why they didn't get on the phone call and said any youth group who got some kids, bring the kids to the game. Because that's what I would have did. We letting everybody, matter of fact, we letting anybody who want to come on.
You basically get a White Sox game, get into a White Sox game for free at this point. Uh, Bulls are very suspect, but I think that's a whole different conversation. What's the expectation with Caleb? Is he once he struggle, is he a bust, or how long does Caleb Williams have to turn it around?
So I say let's give him time. And I know the preseason looked good, but to me, Caleb didn't play enough in the preseason. I know they don't want to get him hurt, but to me, you have to balance that with, the type of experience that he needs. We saw the Bears go, they pretty much went undefeated in this preseason. It reminded me of the Steelers last year with how their offense looked so great in the preseason. And then when the season started, their offense couldn't even move the ball. So I hope with these weapons, with the competent offensive coordinator, that Caleb can, make the adjustments. You want to see him on that Richardson path. Remember, Richardson was a top quarterback even as a rookie before he got injured. We're not expecting, the CJ Stroud type numbers, but competent quarterback play, make good decisions. Hopefully the defense will pick you up. And that's what we want.
Yeah, they did go undefeated. I mean, it even reminds me last year of the Bears preseason where Justin Fields threw to DJ Moore for a screen and it was just a touchdown on the first play. Then we got Justin Fields. He's the next best thing. So I think he is going to struggle, Caleb, but I think as long as he offense has to continue to put up points. Can't rely on the defense. We know what it looks like. We know the secondary is good. We know our linebackers are good, but that defensive front, to me, still suspect out of Sweat. Our two D tackles, Pickens and I'm not sure who else is on the other side, but you got Demarcus Walker.
Yeah.
At best, me personally, I think he's a solid two to come in and give you some depth. But I know they signed Jordan Brooks from Seattle, but I've never heard of him. So,
Right.
I would like him to go after Judon, but if he's having contract issues, I think he wants to be the highest paid at this point.
Where did Judon end up going?
Atlanta,
And
but
did they give him a contract?
still doesn't have a contract. And he
Okay.
says he still ain't playing. Um, what's the guy in New York? Hassan Reddick, I believe.
Yeah.
He wants a contract. I would rather pay him. So
Did Reddick
it's
sign? He still
Reddick.
has to sign.
No, he still has Reddick basically he ain't playing either until it,
I think when you're trading for these guys, there got to be some conversation like, what is it going to take to sign you, and can we do it?
yeah. So
'Cause
I don't know.
I'm not signing for a guy that's going to be come walk in the door disgruntled.
So taking a step back, going back to other quarterbacks that have played for Chicago Bears, there's been many going. I remember what was his name, Caleb Heine or something like that was starting at one point. So just some random guys. Is Jay Cutler the best QB of all time for Chicago?
So I don't know if Jay Cutler is the best QB. Jay Cutler had some good years, the Brandon Marshall years. Those guys were putting up numbers. But going back to Jim McMahon, 85 Bears Super Bowl winning team. Jim McMahon was not, nobody's going to tell you he was the best Chicago Bears quarterback, but he delivered. He was competent. Get the ball where it needs to go and let your other skill positions do the job. We even went to Super Bowl with Rex Grossman and I can't even remember the other guy's name. So when you talk about Jay Cutler, the thing with Jay Cutler was a competent quarterback, played well. The problem with Jay Cutler was that he looked like he didn't want to be here. He came in on a trade from Denver, And to me, he never embraced Chicago like he should have embraced Chicago. Again, he could have owned this town. He had a couple of good games, but they always would, key in when he's on the sidelines, and he would be looking disgruntled. So would I say he was the best? I would not say. You have to go back to like Sid Luckman, Reg Grain, those type of guys. But in the modern era, of course, Jay Cutler's name come up. You could also mention Jim Miller. Jim Miller would put up some prolific numbers, but it wouldn't get us anything.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Me personally, I think Justin Fields is the best quarterback that I've seen. When I was growing up, all I saw was Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, then they just went to a carousel. Then you had Trubisky, then you had Josh McCown. Why is Andy Dalton starting? Why is Nick Foles starting? So it's like I have not really seen nobody else but Jay Cutler. So, and what the Bears went to the Super Bowl in 06
Yeah.
against Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Right? And was Lovie Smith the coach at the time? Or no?
Lovie Smith was the coach. So that was that Lovie Smith versus
Yeah.
Who's the black quarterback in coach in Indy. He's on NBC now. But yeah, it was two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. So two black coaches in the Super Bowl for the first time. So yeah, it was but that was Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton were the quarterbacks that year. It was the defense that was carrying. This is Urlacher, Peanut Tillman, Devin Hester returned.
Chicago has always been a defensive reliable team, So
yeah.
So with Cutler, he in Chicago, he had literally Chicago. He went 51-51 exactly.
So
in 8 years. So I mean, yeah.
He was just okay. He was a guy. He did provide some stability to the position for a while, but just a guy. He's no Hall of Famer. He's not even a Bears Hall of Famer, if you ask me.
I think he's a Bears Hall of Famer. It's not a lot you can put in.
Not at that position, no, but he was just a guy.
Is Brandon Marshall a Hall of Fame? He has some good numbers.
He probably is a Hall of Famer, but he probably wouldn't go in as a Bear. He would probably go in as a, where did he come from?
He was in Denver.
He was in Denver too. Was he in Seattle too?
He was in Seattle. He was in Denver, Seattle, the Jets at one point. I think he played somewhere else.
So
he played in Denver. He started his career in Denver, played a year in Miami, then went to Chicago, then went to New York, then ended in Seattle in 2018.
I would say if he is a Hall of Famer, he's a fringe Hall of Famer, but not known really for one team.
Career 12,000 yards, 83 touchdowns. I mean, my thing is, does he get in before Ocho Cinco? Because Chad's not in yet.
I would put Chad in over him.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how Alshon Jeffrey numbers are, but I don't think he's getting in.
No, please, no.
Bears Hall of Fame though.
No way.
What about Matt Forte?
Matt Forte, Bears Hall of Famer. Okay, I can agree with that. But Alshon Jeffrey, no.
Well, I think we can go through the schedule, and I'll let you say the predictions and just give me a win or a loss. Starting off with the Titans at home.
That's a win.
Okay.
We need to start out good.
Texans.
And we're going to Texas, right?
You're going to Texas, yes.
That's a loss.
Colts away.
I think we can get the Colts.
Rams at home.
Let's give them a loss.
So 2-2 out of the first 4 games.
I think we're in a good spot, a good space.
Panthers at home.
Win.
Jags at home.
So that's the London game.
Yes. So really nobody's really at home. So
right. So let's go win.
Commanders.
And that's in DC. So Win.
Cardinals.
Cardinals is in Arizona, so let's say loss.
Patriots.
Win.
We I like our chances against Arizona.
Huh?
I like our chances against Arizona.
Okay.
Packers at
Where is
home.
that game?
Packers at home. 12 o'clock.
So we're gonna have to beat the Packers. Matter of
I
fact,
agree.
they're gonna have to split at best against this division.
We really need to beat them twice because when the last time we beat them?
Exactly. So I'm gonna say win at home.
Vikings at
Win.
home.
Win.
Uh, Lions.
Where is that game?
At I think that's Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. Um, Lions at home.
So the Bears should have beat the Lions twice last year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say win.
49ers.
Loss.
Vikings.
Win.
Lions.
I'll say split, so loss.
Seahawks at home.
Win.
And then you go to Green Bay.
Let's say loss.
You got them at 11-6.
If the Bears win 11 games, I think we are doing. Look, they're gonna have to extend Eberflus if they win 11 games. In 2022, Eberflus signed a 4-year deal. So this year is going to make or break him. If he wins 10, 11 games, I think he's going to be back. And that's probably a good thing for Caleb.
Yeah,
If Eberflus
if not,
loses,
you go through this whole cycle again.
yes, you start the cycle again where Caleb is going to have to learn a new head coach's offense. And we're back. That sets you back. So it's in the Bears, best interest that Eberflus does well.
Yeah. I mean, even then, the 6 losses there are some winnable games because you could potentially beat your whole division. You can go undefeated in your division if you really wanted to. I don't know how the Packers gonna look like, but me personally, I could care less. I think they're gonna be Arizona. I do think that, but who
So,
knows
so,
how Marvin
so
Harrison is looking in November? So
So let me ask you a question. Who's the biggest threat in this division? Is it the Packers or is it the Lions?
it's the Lions.
Okay.
But do I think the Lions are gonna do what they did again? No. I
Okay.
think their best chance was that,
Yeah.
and Campbell's gonna have to live with that 4th down play. So
Yeah, they were kicking field goals when they should have been going for touchdowns. And then when they should have kicked the field goal, he went for it. So
yeah,
yeah.
so I think Lions.
In the NFC North, the Detroit Lions are one of the more likable teams, at least for Chicago.
Yeah,
We cannot
but
stand the Packers.
yeah,
Anybody but the Packers.
it goes back to that Stafford and Golf trade. Was it really just a change of the scenery for both, or because McVay stayed?
Right.
It was just they had new whatever you want to call it in um, Detroit, and Patricia was awful.
Yeah.
So anybody from that Saban tree has not done good. Because I think what's the guy in Tennessee? Vrabel. He didn't
Yeah.
have a he's in Cleveland now coaching. So, but I don't think he should have been fired. But
No, I wouldn't have fired Vrabel. It was one more coach that I wouldn't have fired. Somebody else got fired. I'm like, wow,
so
y'all moving on for that guy.
I can check.
So that
Belichick, Vrabel, Pete Carroll, Ron Rivera, Braden Stanley, Josh McDaniels, Frank Wright, Arthur Smith. Oh yeah.
now all those guys should have been fired. I take that.
Only guy that should not have been fired was Vrabel.
Yeah. I mean, Pete Carroll was old, but I hope that was more of a mutual move than him being stepped down or something.
Yeah, I didn't know Pete Carroll was coaching that long.
Yeah, he's been there for a while, but
Who's the coach there now?
one of those McDaniels or McDonald's, it's a lot of those guys with a similar last name, but he's a young guy. They went from having one of the oldest head coaches to now one of the youngest.
Mike McDonald
Yeah.
served as a defensive coordinator for Baltimore Ravens in 2023. 37.
And I think Pete Carroll was like 73 or something.
Carroll might need want to enjoy his retirement.
Pete still got some life in him.
He said he's going to teach at USC.
Yep. But I mean, he used to coach USC as well. So,
Yeah. He's probably at this point where I'm just working till
yeah.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up. Maybe we'll get back on here and talk mid-season, see where they're at. Maybe at their bye week. I think they have an early bye week, like week 5. So they have a bye week 7. So they come from London and going to bye, which probably makes sense. So
yeah.
I appreciate you hopping on, and let's wrap up for this one.
All right.